I probably should have.
You'll make everybody smile.
So welcome. This is a blissful flow, but it's also an Ashtanga flow. And the Ashtanga flow is a certain primary series or with regimented poses. I will be changing it up a little bit because of our topic today. So our topic today is about the veil. And we hear this term probably more so now than maybe we have in the past. In yoga, we talk about the veil being the veil of forgetfulness. You know, we come into this world and we forget who we are. We forget that we're a soul. We forget that we have a purpose. We forget our soul contracts. We forget our karma. We forget all of these things as we continue to live out our days. And sometimes we gain remembrances of this. And sometimes we get into alignment with this. And sometimes we have to break through that barrier to really discover what that is. So in yoga, if we look at the Om symbol is a beautiful symbol. It almost looks like a calligraphy 3, a crescent moon at the top with a dot above that. That crescent moon in the upper right-hand corner represents the veil. This veil in yogic terms is also considered the veil of Maya. And Maya means illusion. It's the illusion of what we think reality is, of what we think we are, what we think our purpose may be, and not actually having that true knowing. And so again, the practice of yoga and meditation is supposed to help us to cross over that veil to be able to get a clear picture of what that is. The veil is also mentioned in the Sri Bhagavad Gita. This is a book that's thousands of years old, and it says the mind is darkened by the veil. The eyes are blinded by the veil, right? Not being able to see clearly. It's like a filter being placed over eyes. In biblical text, it even says in the New Testament, if you turn to the Lord, you will be able to cross through the veil. So the veil in spiritual terms is not just the veil of forgetfulness and the veil of illusion. It's actually the veil between the seen and the unseen. It's the veil between this physical existence and the spiritual realm that exists. So with that being said, physically speaking in our bodies on the physical plane, we have, it's not really a veil, but it's covering, right? A veil can be a covering or a barrier or a boundary. If you were to peel the skin off of the physical human body, you're not necessarily going to see the organs, the muscles, and the bones because there's a veil, there's fascia. It's this, they kind of call it like a cheesecloth over the body that kind of holds everything together. So this even shows up in our physical body. So since the IT band is part of this connective tissue, we're going to use a few poses today to open up this band here with some deep stretching and deep breathing, right? So let's go ahead and start sitting and breathing. Close your eyes. But turn your drishti in and up towards the mind's eye. You're gazing in and up towards the midpoint of the brow as if you're looking off towards the horizon. Allow the crown of the head to pick up. Allow the shoulders to spill down. Allow your heart center to rise. Your seat to ground down. After you've perfected your posture, once you start to withdraw away from what's happening externally, start to take the reins of your breath. Control the breath. Smoothing out the breath. so that the breath is helping you to center, to connect to your true self within. Look at this as a mini meditation before we begin movement. Way to bring the mind, the body, the spirit together as one. To join your palms together to prayer position at your heart as you continue to breathe with control and depth. Maybe feeling the chest rising up into your hands, then back down. Setting your personal intention for being here today, but also setting the collective intention to thin the veil between the seen and the unseen, between the physical and the spiritual plane. And on your next in-breath, place your fingers together, roll the wrists skyward. We're just going to do a quick side bend before we do the sun salves today. Exhale, curve to one side of your body. Keep rooting down through your seat, lifting up through your wrist. And then inhale, rise back to the top, and exhale, take a seated Chandrasana to the opposite side. Don't worry about how far you lean. It's more about length than the actual side bend. Opening up the ribs, opening up that particular lung. And then rising back up to the top as you breathe in, and as you exhale, you can fan the arms around you. Let's go ahead and come away from our seat. Let's come up to stand. Reminding you, I may not be doing everything with you today. We'll start with sun salutation A, standing strongly on the soles of the feet, bringing the hands to prayer position at the heart. As you breathe in, lift the arms up overhead. And as you exhale, begin to pour down to your Uttanasana, your standing forward fold. Inhale, come halfway up. Good. Exhale, step it back. Lower down to Chaturanga, that low push-up position. And then land the knees and inhale, balloon the heart up to upward facing dog. Exhale, curl your toes and roll back to downward facing dog. Now in your downward facing dog, press into your palms, stretch long through the vertebrae, roll your thighs and empower them back. How high can you get your sacrum? And then bring neutrality to your neck. On your next in-breath, let's bring the feet to the top of the mat. You can meditationally walk or lunge one foot, then the other. Stacking the hands to the shins, lengthening out through the spine. And then exhale, pour back down. Uttanasana. Inhale, rising all the way up. Urdhva Mahasana. And then exhale, hands come down to the hearts. We'll continue. Inhale, expand. Exhale, fold into self. Opening the back of the body. Inhale, create more extension through the vertebrae, creating space between the two halves. And then exhale, stepping down the mat. Feel free to use your knees if you need to modify to Chaturanga. Inhale to upward facing dog. Exhaling to downward facing dog. Let the head reside between the upper arms and gaze in the direction of the feet or that space in between. Stay with your breath, and if you know the Ujjayi Pranayama, the audible sound of breath, constrict the back of your throat so it creates a soothing sound. On your next inhalation, let's meditationally walk, or you can lunge one foot and then the other. Coming to Ardha Uttanasana at the top of the mat, take your time. Exhale, pour it back down, allowing everything to spill down towards the face, towards the brow, towards your crown. Inhale, root down to rise on up. Arms reaching overhead. And then exhale, Samastiti. All right, another A. Inhale, open up. Exhale, fold down in. Feel the work in your hamstrings, decompress your low back. And then inhale, create some extension. Exhale, you're stepping down the length of your mat. You're tipping your weight forward to lower to chaturanga to build upper body strength. Feel free to land the knees to open the heart to bring flexibility to spine. And then exhale, rock and roll back. Downward facing dog. Within this hold, you're taking 5 deep yogic breaths. See if you can even experience the ballooning effect in your back body as your lungs inflate. Try not to sink into the shoulder joints or bow the back. Provide structure. On your next in breath, let's gather the feet to the top of the mat, however you want to arrive, it's fine. And then exhale, drop back down again. Remember, you can always stay in that modification if you need to. Inhale, soaring up. And exhale, bringing hands back home, sweet home to the heart. All right, we're moving into the B series. So bend your knees, elevate your arms, sit back with your hips. Exhale, fold over straight legs. Inhale, pop up and look out with your eyes. And then exhale, step it back and drop it low to chaturanga. Remember, you can do this from the knees. Inhale, bloom up. Exhale, roll back. So in the B sun sound, we step the right foot forward at this point. We lower the back heel. We lift the arms to warrior one. When you come up to warrior one, make sure that shin is perpendicular to the ground, knee aligned over the ankle, and rolling the thigh open so you can see the big toe. Ground your back heel, spin your left hip forward. Keep your arms shooting upward, your spine erect over the pelvis. Chin parallel to the earth. Exhale, let's bring the hands down. Step back. Feel free to take the vinyasa. Remember, you can always skip the vinyasa as well. Skipping, you could do child's pose or downward facing dog. Now let's step the left foot through. Bury the right heel down, float your hands up, warrior one. I love seeing the pregnant bellies today, I love it. Feel the work in your back half. Try to square your hips. Keep reaching up through the outseam of the arms, and then cast your gaze on one sedentary object. When we have a focused eye, it aids in focusing the mind. Exhale, hands down. Step back. If you want the vinyasa, this is your opportunity. When you align in downward facing dog, remember inversions are great for the lymph system and the upper body. It's a calming agent for the mind. It refreshes the skin of the face. And supporting our own body weight helps us to build some bone density. On your next in breath, let's bring the feet to the top of the mat, to Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, plow down and in. Inhale, bend the knees, lift up, Utkatasana chair, sometimes called fierce pose. And exhale, hands to heart. All right, we get to do a couple more of those. Inhale, bend the knees. Come to chair. Exhale, flow down. Straightening out the legs, tipping the weight towards the toes. Inhale, elongate the vertebrae. Exhale, step it back. And you can do it from the knees, half chaturanga. Gliding through the heart, opening the throat. And exhale, rock and roll back. Find the blend between effort and ease, skill and grace. So you're not overpowering through the practice. Inhale, right foot steps through. Back heel lowers down. We're coming back, warrior one. From warrior one position, this time we're stacking onto the legs and the feet the same way. Squaring the hips the same way. But instead of the arms just reaching up, we're going to spiral the pinkies in towards the temples. Feel the extra work. You're getting through the shoulders, the space between the shoulder blades. It's like you're spreading your wings. All right, exhale, hands down. Take the next vinyasa, if you so choose. From down dog, left foot steps through. Back heel sinks down. Virabhadrasana 1. Right, instead of doing it the same way we did the first time, bring a little bit more work into your upper back, shoulders, arms, and hands. Feel the difference and breathe. Exhale, hands down. Last vinyasa for this mix. When you're inverted this time, notice if you're holding tension in your jaw. If you are, maybe take a cleansing breath, breathing into the nose, out to the mouth. Or just softening your lips so they're just barely parted. Inhale, feet come to the top of the mat, lifting halfway up. Exhale, roll down. Inhale, Utkatasana. And exhale, Samastitihi. All right, we're just gonna do one more B today, because I'm gonna save these when we're going back and forth so much, okay? Inhale, chair. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, create some space. And exhale, build that upper body strength. Keep your triceps working, your elbows clipping in before rising into up dog. Rolling into down dog. The right foot will step through. Left heel lowers. This time in warrior one, we're gonna lift the arms up, place the palms together and gaze towards the hand. It's more of an exalted form. Think about creating a steeple for this temple of body. Exhale, hands bent out. Take the next vinyasa, or hold child or downward facing dog. Once we meet in downward facing dog, the left foot's going to step through next. Back heel drops, arms rise. Get your stance first, check the alignment, and then build up to the steeple, exalting your warrior. Hands down. Last vinyasa. Hopefully feeling like your body's getting more manageable, more warmed up. Keep the breath active. Even in stillness. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana at the top of the mat. Exhale, roll down Uttanasana. Inhale, completing these sun sounds with chair. Knees are bent, arms are up, strong quads, strong ankles. Exhale, hands up. All right, now this is where we're gonna change it up a little bit. I should have told you guys, I think you're probably fine though. Are you flexible enough to have your hands to the floor, or do you need blocks? I need blocks. Okay, grab blocks if you need them, because we're gonna work on the IT band here. I'm actually gonna grab blocks in the visual too. But you may not need them. So we're gonna set them up shoulder distance apart. Right in front of your mat. Your left foot is going to cross to the middle of those blocks, but back a number of inches. Right foot's going to cross over. Hands to the hips. Use both feet to equalize your balance. Lift up through the chest. Exhale, push the tailbone back. Take your hands down to the blocks. Walk the blocks out so they're lined up underneath your shoulders when you stretch out your back. Now shift your weight onto your left foot. And then if you have the availability to fold deeper, you can. If you want to lose the blocks altogether, you may. Walking the hands closer to the feet, and bowing the head closer to the knees. Now, when you shift your weight more to the mound of that left big toe and inner heel, and there's less weight in that right foot, that's when you're going to experience that IT band stretch. The out seam of the hip, thigh, and maybe even a little portion of the outer knee. Breathe. This work here, according to Chinese medicine, works with the gallbladder meridian. And yes, it runs up both sides of the body, even though the gallbladder is more located to the right. And the gallbladder meridian can be super sensitive when we are underactive, overactive, and this band gets really taut. But it also correlates back to resentment, frustrations, and things like anger. All right, now walk the hands forward to the blocks, lengthen out through the spine, and then lower your weight onto your right foot again. So now that you have both feet taking the weight, bring the hands to the hips and come up to stand. And then we're going to take that in reverse. So now the right foot will be between the blocks, back a bit. Left foot's going to cross over. Use both for now. Lift your chest, exhale, hinge from your hips. Tailbone back, crown forward, and use your blocks to start with. Now we're going to shift the weight to the inside of that right foot a little bit more, and you'll feel less weight on your left foot. Determine if you want to stay here, or if you want to bend the elbows, or if you want to stack the hands forward at the feet. See what your body provides. See what is allowed in this moment. If or when the breath becomes altered or inhibited, pay attention, do less physically so you can breathe better. And even notice which side may have a little bit more sensitivity. Right side's more of the masculine side, the left side's more of the feminine side. walk your hands back to the blocks if you let them go. Shift your weight onto both feet. Now hands to the hips and slowly come up. All right, uncross the feet. Press that or press into the hip crease as you fold to make sure you're hinging from the proper place. Take the hands back to the blocks. Now bend your left knee generously and keep your right leg straight. This is another way to work into this connective tissue. Hopefully you feel it. Again, you can stay here, stacked and modified, or you can drape lower. I'm going to stay on the block since my sinuses are the way they are today. When you fold forward and you're congested or have allergies or a head cold, it can make it worse. All right, we're going to take a twist. So if you came away from the blocks, now you want the blocks because you're going to extend your spine. We want the spine extended so that as we open up into the twist with that right arm, we're able to lubricate and bring circulation into the spinal disc. Revolve through the belly. Open through the barrel of the chest. Breathe. And then exhale, lower the right hand. Now bend the right knee in a generous way and straighten out your left leg. If you want to close in more, you can move the blocks, you can fold into the legs. If you need to stay modified, you can join me. And now we're going to take the twist, so extend your spine, tap onto the blocks if need be, and then sweep the left arm out and up towards the head of the body. Maybe follow your gaze with your hand, hasta drishti. If that's too much for your neck, you can leave it out. You can look towards the side wall instead. You know your body better than anyone. So listen to the messages being retrieved. Exhale, lower the left hand, straighten out both legs, fold in Uttanasana. Affirming as you hold, nothing and no one on this earth can hold me down or back. All right, on your next in-breath, sweep the arms to your sides and up overhead. And exhale, hands come home to the heart. All right, we're going to step to the side of the mat. If you guys want to turn this way, if you guys want to turn this way, just so you see what's happening, that's fine. You want a wide distance between your feet. And then rotate your right foot 90 degrees. Pick up the arms, shoulder height. Launch and stretch out over the right leg. Good. Windmill the hand down to the thigh, or the shin, or the ankle, or block. Triangle pose. That top hand's the pinnacle. That's where we're directing the energy. Inhale, come up. Lift your right arm, turn your right foot, then rotate your left foot. Launch out over the left side, windmill down to triangle pose. The feet are the base, ground into the floor. But then remember, the energy is shooting up. Inhale, rise. Exhale, relax the arms. Turn the left foot in. Rotate the right foot. All right, if you guys need to come out and grab a block, that's okay. We're going to spin off the back heel and lower the left hand. And reach that right arm skyward. So it's a variation of revolving triangle. Breathe. And feel that IT band stretch here in this pose. All right, lower the right hand and the back heel. Safely pick up the left hand. Cautiously come up. Rotate the right foot. Rotate your left foot. All right, same idea. We're going to spin off the back heel, land the right hand to the block or ground, and carry the left arm up. Working into that iliotibial band. Exhale, bring the left hand down, lower the right foot, safely come up. And then turn the feet so they're square again. Good, right foot rotates out. Lunge that knee, rest on it with your elbow, and then take the free hand up and maybe even across the side of the face. Side. Notice how a lot of the weight's pouring down on this right side. So really glue your left foot down. Activate your back leg. All right, inhale, let's slowly come up. Good, right foot turns in. Left foot rotates out. How are we doing? Good, lunge the knee. Rest onto it with the left elbow, right arm flares up, and maybe across the face. You're gluing down your back foot. Breathing well. So just curious, those of you expecting, how was that revolving triangle? Because it's not a deep twist, but was it uncomfortable? Was the belly in the way? It was all right? Okay, cool. So we'll just test the waters on the next one, because the next one, the knee's gonna be bent. And then if you feel like you need to just go back to this pose, you can actually do more of an open twist this way instead of the revolving. All right, inhale, come up. Turn the left foot. Rotate the right foot. So again, just test it out. Bend the right knee, spin off the back heel, land your left hand. And then you're taking the right arm skyward. And again, if that's too much for you, you can do a different pose or come back to the regular side angle. You'll typically hang out here for at least 5 breaths. And then lower the right foot. Lower the back heel and then come up. All right, it worked out? Okay, cool. Yeah, you may just need a little bit more separation between your hand and your foot just to create some space and room. All right, left foot turns, then bends, and then the right foot will stand to plant the right palm and to sail the left arm skyward. Now, when you bring the left hand down, walk it on the out seam of the mat. Rotate the feet so they're pointing the same direction and bow. Slide your hand back. Let the crown of the head face the floor. So, when you get closer to like time for labor, you wouldn't want to be as inverted, right? You would want to be like what you're doing more
even or parallel to the floor. Let's all walk the hands out, straighten the arms and lift the head up. So this is a great modification for, people like me with all this nasal dripping today. And this is what I mean. Once you get into your third trimester, you want to maybe be here versus lowering all the way. All right, let's go ahead and pick up the arms, straighten them out. And then turn your left foot, or your right foot, your left foot, so that we're turning to face the front of the room. So you guys will be different. And then we'll step up to the front. Good, once you step up to the front, your left foot's gonna step back, right foot in front. Take your arms and cross them behind your back. And just open up your chest, lifting through the heart. And if you want to stay here, you can be here. If you want to slightly turn and lower the navel out over your right leg, again, you can pause at any point along the way. Strong legs. You may feel the hamstring stretch more than the IT then stretch, but this is an intense side stretch pose. It's targeting that barrier, that fascia, that inner veil. All right, inhale, really root your right foot and cautiously come up. Okay, notice how you cross your arms. Keep them there, but step up. And then cross the other way. And then step back with your right foot. Open up the chest. Lift your heart. Feel free to stay as you are, or slightly pivot the navel over towards the front leg and hover over it, or descend towards it. Yogi's choice. Version of pyramid pose, Parvottanasana. Affirming here, I give myself over into the flow of grace. Inhale, gently come up. Good, release your arms, and then step up. We're gonna work on balancing. Bend your right knee. We're gonna stack and stand on the left leg, open from the hip. So, I don't know if you've experienced this yet. Usually in your third trimester, the balance will start getting a little off. So if that happens to you today, you can keep your foot here. Just don't sink into the hip. You want to lift out of it. But if you want to explore your balance, the foot can come to the calf or to the upper thigh. You just don't want to put pressure on the knee. And then your hands can come to prayer, or you can lift them over the crown. Balance and breathe. Hands to the heart and lower the right foot. All right, straighten the right leg, bend the left knee, turn over from the hip. This is the pose. You can stay here. If you want to bring it to the calf, just no pressure to the knee, or you can use your hand to bring it higher. The hands can stay here, resting at the heart, or you can lift it overhead. Find your drishti. Something to set the eyes on. Bring the hands to the heart and lower the left foot. We're going to modify Padangusthasana A today. So spread out your left toes Left hand to the hip and pick up and hold your right knee. And then turn the knee to the side, Padangusthasana B. I find if I flex my foot, it's easier to hold. That dorsiflexion. All right, bring the knee back. And let it go. Right hand to waist. Shift your weight to your right side and spread through the right toe. Catch your left knee, Padangusthasana A, flexing the left ankle. Hold the pose, but not the breath. Especially those of you breathing for 2. All right, now open the Padangusthasana B. This side I always feel catches. And open it as wide. This does involve the glute muscles too when we rotate the hip open. Bring the knee back. And step it down. All right, we're going back to the flow, top of the mat, hands to the heart. Sweep the arms to your sides and up overhead. Exhale, flow down to your Uttanasana. So we're going to step back, downward facing dog. And from Adho Konasana, take a deep breath in. A slow breath out. Take another deep breath in. And on your exhale, come down to your knees. And then we're going to shift to our seated positions. Coming down to our seat and extending out through the legs. And then if you guys need to separate a little bit, that's okay. Reach the arms up. Paschimottanasana is a forward stretch. Don't feel like you even have to find the feet. The hands can rest beside your body. Inhale, coming up. Hands are going to go behind your back. Lean into your palms. Bend your knees. Press through the feet and tuck and lift to reverse table. Nice. So feel does great work for the shoulders. Different than our chaturanga arms. And then lower your seats. Straighten out your left leg. Open up from the right hip, bringing your right foot to the inner left thigh, and then kind of scoot or lean forward, scoot your sits bones back. You have that little pelvic tilt forward, arms rising, and exhale, folding. Janu Shirshasana. The head of the knee stays facing the ceiling. The toes stay up facing the ceiling. Inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, spinning to the right. This is a light twist. Left hand to the bent knee, right hand to the floor behind your back. If you root down through your right hand, you'll lift up through the vertebrae. It'll create more extension. Exhale, unwind from that twist. Ooh, I got a nice pop. Lift your right knee, sail that leg out. Bend your left knee and then open up from that hip. Janu Shirshasana, lifting the arms overhead. Exhale, keeping the thigh engaged as you plant the back of that right leg, head of the knee, toes stay facing the ceiling. Firming here, left and right and all around. Life's harmonies are mine. I love that affirmation because sometimes we have that statement. Sometimes you have to have a breakdown before you have a breakthrough. Sometimes you have to stir up and create a mess before you can have a cleaned out space, you know. So even when life seems like it's falling apart, think about those pieces will eventually come back together. Inhale, let's come up. And as you exhale, let's spin to the left, right hand to the bent knee, left hand behind your back. Root through the left hand, lift up through the top of the head. Exhale and line from that twist. Your right foot's gonna slide in. This is good for all of us, but especially the ladies on the end. So what you're gonna do, this is really good for the reproductive organs, really good for the bladder, really good for the urinary tract, really good for just bringing circulation all through the pelvic floor. But we're gonna try to open up the hips a little bit more by using the manipulation of the hands. So notice when you glue the mounds of the big toes together, there's gonna be some contraction and the knees are gonna lift. So we want it to relax open. So take your thumbs down to the balls of the feet, and you're gonna open the feet out like a book. And notice how the hips release. And then lift your heart and fold with a straight back. Yeah. Great for preparing the hips for labor. Stretching out the inner thighs. Good, and inhale it slowly rise up. We're gonna slide the feet out. And notice you don't want the feet to flop in. You want to keep them flexed. You want to ground the back of your thigh bones. And then you're going to pinch forward. You can use your hands as a shield, as a way to protect, so you're not just falling towards gravity. You're finding your edge of flexibility. And breathing from there. I did plan for another hip opener that we don't typically do in this practice. It's going to be double pigeon. So when you're ready, back away from this stretch, slide your left shin so it's parallel in front of your torso. And then pick up your right foot, see if you can stack it on top of the left knee. And it's okay if there's a gap. But if this hurts, or it's just too awkward, you're gonna set the right foot out in front, as long as you have a triangle at your lap. You can see that triangle, you're good. Now, notice with the gap here, because I have one too. If you press down through your hands and start to lift through the upper body, you might potentially close some of that gap, showing the interrelationship between the spine and the pelvis, the hips. Now, if that gap closes somewhat, it's okay to come forward over your lats and hinge. And then if that still feels good, continue to walk it out as Mary Beth's doing. I'm gonna stay here today because this feels pretty good to me. Go to the range of motion that your body allows with the full conscious breath. Good, inhale slowly coming up. That's getting the outer hips as well. Maybe some of that piriformis if you're going deep enough. So the pose I'm going to take you into next, I don't remember if this is accessible. I've only been pregnant once, so I don't remember. It was so long ago. But see if it's possible. Take your left hand and hold your pinky toe side of that foot and see if you can stretch it out. I don't know if the belly will be in the way for that. Does it work? It's another IT bend stretch. And then if you lift your chest, you can fan that right arm behind you and add in the twist. And then if the IT band's too much, just do the twist and leave that out. Yeah. Good, exhale, release. All right, slide your legs out again to be a little easier to get into. Right shin in front. And catch your left foot. See if it's possible to land on top of that knee. If it's too much, too awkward, set it on in front. No big deal. All right, press through the hands, lift up everywhere else. Good, and if you feel encouraged to hinge, go for it. If that still feels good, continue to travel ahead. Right hand's gonna take the pinky toe side, pick the foot, maybe stretch it out. One side may be more accessible than the other. Maybe you just need the twist, maybe you can do the blend. All right, Cindy's not here today, so we're skipping headstands. Okay? We're gonna do grab a block. So our final inversion is gonna be supported bridge and supported waterfall. How about that? And if you really want your headstand, go for it. We usually end this class with headstand. We're gonna lower to the back. We're gonna bend the knees, slightly lift, and the block turns 3 different directions. So usually the medium size works for most people, but you may need to go smaller, you may need to go higher, and then you're just gonna rest on it for a moment. So feel the inversion, sense the inversion, see your knees higher than your hips higher than your heart higher than your head. This is great for the thyroid gland. This is great for the spleen. This helps to even calm the mind. This particular pose can actually help to open up your breathing when you're congested as well. This pose, shoulder stand, plow pose, can be helpful during those times. And then if you want waterfall, make sure the block's beneath you because you're going to float your feet up. It's almost like a modified shoulder stand in a way. Not as intense, not as much weight on the neck. But this is good for our circulation. Calming sedative for the mind. Unless you get too caught up in the effort, find ease in the midst of the effort. One last breath. Lower the feet down. Once you lower the feet, press through the feet, squeeze the buttocks, tuck and lift away from the block. Feel the work in your hamstrings and glutes and your back as you take the block away. Stay lifted and bridge. Hold for 5 full breaths. And gently roll it down 1 vertebra at a time. You're coming into stirrup or tree frog pose where you catch your knees, but you keep your thighs wide open. You're grounding your sacrum. Pretty flat on the back here as your knees tuck in. Belly's exposed to the sky. This is good for the hips, this is good for the low back. Just take a moment to turn your head from shoulder to shoulder, massaging the face, skull, bringing some movement to the neck. We are ready for Shavasana. So if you wanted to continue to open the hips, you can potentially take your bolster in front, the feet on top, and here. If you're done with that kind of work, you can have the bolster under the knees and stack the legs over in a simple manner. Going to allow you time to figure out what pose you want to reside in for the next few minutes. I'm gonna dim the overhead lights. If for any reason you're expecting and you get a racing heart or feel like you can't breathe on your back, you can roll to your left side. Side fetal type position. Otherwise, close your eyes, bring your attention all the way down into your feet. Relaxing the toes, the arches and ankles of both. Soften both calves, both knees, both thighs. Now that you've relaxed the lower body, bring it up. Soften your hips, buttocks and pelvic floor. Relax the back. Notice in your front body the way of the breath. Your belly balloons out, and as it rolls up to lift the chest. Following that wave back down to your core. Soften your shoulders. both arms, both hands, and all 10 fingers. Relax your throat, your neck, your face. Continue to gaze towards your mind's eye. Intention. Connecting to what lies beyond the veil. Now deepen the sense of your breath. As you deepen the breath, begin to awaken a little movement in the hands and feet. And eventually walking the feet, stacking them on the bolster, maybe swishing the knees side to side. Burning completely to one. Coming up to find formless. Sitting attentively with the eyes closed. Placing your palms together to prayer position at your heart so that we can seal the practice. To remember that we should try to take any lessons learned on the mat off the mat so that our yoga continues. The light in me honors and bows to the beautiful light in each of you. Namaste.